Hello, my name is Parthabasu. Today I want to say something about China. I came to China on work. Earlier I came here for a few business trip. But when you go for a business trip in a city, you just stay 1 day or 2 days or 1 week. You just move around in the city area mostly. You don't learn the city or you don't learn the country. But when you go somewhere and stay there for longer term, mix with people, see countryside, you know the people better. So I came to China earlier a few times on business trip, Shanghai and Guangzhou, and that time I saw the progress, say around 2005, and then next time I came around 2018. This is 2025. Last 2.5 years I'm in China, and every city, every place I go, I look at the progress. It is stupendous. I feel very bad for India. I'm an Indian. That India and China has got same population almost, similar civilization, got independence approximately same time, and China has progressed 10 times better than India, or 10 times, 20 times. I don't think India can catch up with China's present state in next 20 years. It is so good. I noted down a few points. I just listed down. I just wanted to say, the first thing I want to say about this infrastructure. Okay, like the roads. I think the expressway they try to copy from US, and they have probably copied from US. And now it is 10 times better. I stayed in US for 3 years, drove on many expressway. Here, of course, we are not allowed to drive as per our company requirement. So I have a driver, but I look at the expressway, my God, it is much better than USA, much better than Europe in terms of the reach at various places of China. The only thing, there is no freeway here, you have to pay toll everywhere. But toll is not very high, it is reasonable. And one good thing is that because it is centralized, you pay toll only once, almost not more than 2 times, anywhere to anywhere you go. Basically, all expressways are interconnected. So you don't have to go out of it like in US sometimes you have to go from one tollway to another tollway, so you have to pay again and again. Here it is just one time, and it's fully automated. If you have the proper like similar to Easy Tag in US, or you can pay by QR code or something like WeChat. So that is one of the most important thing. I see the infrastructure, and if you see the airport, my God, they are building airport like a massive airport, and each airport is what I say actually. It is in size, it is in facility, and everything is so digital here. That is the next thing I want to say. After I came here, the first 1 month, until I set up my bank account and WeChat, I pay cash. But after that last 2.5 years, I didn't use my purse. Never. I always pay by WeChat or Alipay. Everything is automated. Even if you buy a 5 RMB thingy, a 5 RMB is 1 Singapore dollar, or less than say 80 cents. To a vegetable seller, I just pick up a fruit. I like the fruit. I didn't realize what fruit it is. I have to taste. I say, how much? They say 5 RMB. I pay by WeChat. So I'm amazed. Such a digital is a poor vegetable seller, or I will not say poor, anybody accept WeChat Pay. Okay? Zero people using cash except maybe tourists coming and pay some money by cash. So no cash. That is the fantastic digital. What next I pointed out actually. I will say that infrastructure, digital payment. The next thing is there is no beggar here. Okay, so of course it is communist country. They are not supposed to be any beggar. But China is not really a communist country. What was my thinking earlier? You know, I'm from West Bengal, India. So we have seen a lot of communism, and here it is not really so-called communism. The rich are rich, poor is poor, but no begging. Everybody work hard, they work, they earn, and they're happy in general. I don't see crowd in the road loitering like what you see in India. The people are on the road loitering. There's no loitering. And such a populated country, similar to India, of course, its size is bigger. People go early in the morning, whole day you don't see people on the road, and evening everybody come back home. So that is very good. There's no begging, no stealing. Very, very rare. I have not seen. I heard, but I have not seen. Here, I went to some of the tourist places. People just keep their mobile phone, their belongings, and just not pay much attention. In many countries, it would have been taken away or snatched. Here, nothing, zero. So I have seen. I'm really worried because I've been to many countries, and I always keep my mobile phone. Here nothing, no stealing at all. Okay, what else I noted down actually? The infrastructure I talk about, the super fast train. Of course, I went to Japan and saw the bullet train and rode the bullet train. Fantastic, 350 kilometer per hour. China railway, my God, it is fantastic. It crisscross the whole country. There are two type of rail. D start with D or start with G. One is fast, one is super fast. The G I think is super fast. It runs around. It can run 350 kilometer per hour, but normally average it runs around 320 to 330 kilometers per hour. The other train, which is D train, it can run at 250 km per hour. It runs 250 km per hour, but average it runs 220 km per hour. So just imagine. See, it is so good. Like Delhi to Bombay is how much? 1500 km. If we have super fast train, we can reach in 6-7 hours. So, and of course, India now, Modi ji is bringing a bullet train. I don't know when it will come. This is 2025. I don't think we'll see Delhi to Bombay before 2030 or 2035. Here, like I stay in Huizhou, it's two town. But I can go from Huizhou to Shenzhen or Guangzhou, which is a big city, in 20-30 minutes in a super fast train actually, okay? And then from here to Beijing or Shanghai, which is far away, I can take a super fast train, and those trains runs at 350 km per hour. Just imagine. It's fantastic. What else I noted down? Airports we discuss. It is this and the train. One more thing I wanted to discuss is fantastic. So the train has got like the normal class, first class. Actually, they have a business class. I'm not traveling business class. I travel in standard class and first class. Both of them are good. First class is slightly bigger, and I think they give some snacks and foods. The funny thing is the chair cars is always looking where the train is moving. How they do that? When they reach end of the station, end of the journey, when the train is going to return, all chairs are rotatable. They rotate 180 degree, and it's fantastic. I could not even imagine. Sometime in India, I used to travel, and if I get a seat like this, I'm going this way, I feel bad actually. And here, every time you look forward actually. That is one fantastic thing I noticed actually. So every time the train reaches the end junction, and when everybody goes out, and then there is some people, they just clean the train and rotate the chair. And even the train station almost maintained like air station actually. Such a crowded place, railway stations, but inside platform no crowd. So what they have actually, they build massive substation. There's a massive waiting room. You go after security check, you stay in the waiting room. And they look at the display board. Just 10 minutes or 5 minutes before the train is approaching, you are allowed to go inside. Okay, which is all by digital. Local people use only their ID card. I use passport. You just go in and it's fantastic. Just and the platforms are clean and the train comes on time. So no crowding in the platform. No crowding. It's fantastic. There's another thing I have to say, right? What else? The crowd management we discussed, and of course Shanghai has got a maglev, the magnetic levitation train. There is of course short distance from airport to city, that runs around 500-600 kilometers per hour. Fantastic. And I understand that China is trying to do that cross country also now. Actually, that will be a great thing actually. So airports and railway stations are is fantastic. It has got a face recognition. Face recognition basically everywhere. Of course, now many other places we have face recognition, but here it is like all pervasive actually. The face recognition everywhere. See, once your face is recognized, your doors open, you go to the platform. It's fantastic. Okay. The metro rail, where it is available, is similar. There is a face recognition. Once you, and there is a, you just, what they call, once you buy the ticket, you can buy a pass token, or you can buy a one trip, which is similar. The taxi is similar, like Uber. Here they call Didi. It is much better than Uber. I mean, it is technology is similar, but it is of course it is cheaper than Uber. And the 2-3 things I like that it find you very quickly, because the apps is so powerful. So they have got a position identifier. No matter which lane or which little place you stand, the taxi will come and find you. Actually, that is one thing. And a lot of taxis, and when taxi is coming, the map actually recognize the traffic light also. So it tells you that your taxi is halted at the traffic light, and then you can actually see the traffic light in the map. The traffic light becomes green and the taxi is moving, or Uber is Didi is moving. That is another fantastic digital thing actually. Okay. So cash, we already say that you don't need carry cash here. It is. But the thing is that, as I say, it is communist country. But if you go to a mall, the rich are really rich are really rich. The rich wear Rolex, and rich wear drive Mercedes, BMWs, and not rich. Even the normal people, my colleagues, many colleagues, they are driving BMW. In India, like engineers with 5 years, 10 years, they cannot even dream of BMW. Singapore, you forget about it. So the second thing is that here they are making the EV so good. Everybody knows that the China captured the 75% of the EV market of the world. But you need to see the technology, not the known company like BYD and other things. There are so many other companies. It is the car itself is okay. The car EV, there's not much technology here. The battery is all produced in China anyway, even for Tesla. But the Xinjiang attached to the car actually. So car like a face recognition, door opens, seat reclines, seat massage. There is always there's a display that link with your phone, like Huawei or what is the other brand, Xiaomi. So they talk. Of course, they're talking in Chinese. I go with my colleagues, so I don't know what they're talking. But it's fantastic. They say they just instruct aircon, everything is automated actually, means the voice recognition. And the EV charging stations are plenty everywhere. And the old one takes longer time, the modern one charge you within 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So you just charge there, go for a cigarette or for a coffee, depends upon your choice, and the car is fully charged. So this is another fantastic thing I realize, the digitalization of the car. And some of the car you see like Xiaomi and Huawei, they look like Porsche. The Xiaomi one looks like Porsche. The Huawei come up with a car, it looks like Mercedes. And here the price is like only like $120,000 or $150,000. And the same car, if they can sell same price outside, I think all these Mercedes, Audi, and Tesla, they are going to go bankrupt. I don't know how they manage it. Everybody say, okay, China government gives subsidy, but the economics doesn't really work that way. There may be some subsidy, but it cannot be a subsidy. So it is the salaries are less, of course, from Europe, but basically I think the economics here is by volume or standardization, because once they develop something, I think it is so standardized so they can make it cheaper and cheaper, and maybe there is some subsidy or some kind of support for the electricity bill is not low, I will say. Actually, I don't know, water bill is low, but I cannot understand why exactly the subsidy. Okay, so I don't think there's a huge subsidy part of it, but I'm amazed how they can produce things so cheap. It's so cheap. The vegetable, if I go to market, of course, restaurants is costly if you go to high-end restaurant, but there are many restaurants, the mid-range restaurants not costly. And if we cook home, because sometimes I cook at home, if I buy vegetable from outside, it's very cheap. Fruit is costly, but it's cheap compared to Western country. If I compare to India, I think Indian businessmen are not doing a good job. They are not paying enough salary to their employee. That's why employees probably are not productive. Here, the companies are similar, and the one RMB is approximately 10 or 11 rupees, and a fresh engineer get much more salary than an Indian engineer actually. And I think they work hard, and they can afford a car easily, very quickly, and the rental is low. Most of the places except cities, Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen. I think, but those areas salary is also very high actually. Okay. What else? So it's a lot of positive. I only wish India can become like China in next 10 years. I don't know whether I will be able to see that, but that should be the way to go actually. I don't think India should try to copy Western countries. They should try to copy China. Okay. So as I say, we discuss the infrastructure, we discuss the digitization, no money, and the rail, airport is fantastic. So what else? Train runs at 320 to 350 kilometers per hour. Cloud management. They always maglev train we discuss. There is no begging we discuss. No crime. Very zero. I do not know. But I don't see any crime here anywhere actually. Another good thing I find, they are holidays. So that is a good point. So here there are two major holidays. One is during Chinese New Year, and one during the national holidays in October. So national holidays is 1 week. Chinese New Year actually 2-3 days all over the world Chinese celebrate, but here the holiday is about 1 week. What they do actually, they give about 1 full week plus Saturday, Sunday earlier, so 7 plus 9 days or 10 days, they give a 10 days holiday in Chinese holiday, Chinese New Year and October holidays. What they do actually, they ask you to come to work on Saturday or Sunday, week before or week after, just to make it a 10 days leave. So people are not getting extra holidays, but they are getting one long holiday. So that helps you to travel anywhere, go and see your family. And this is true for there are another 2-3 other holidays. Those holidays, suppose the holiday is in Thursday, they will make it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is declared a holiday. To compensate that Friday, you come to another Saturday. So I find this is fantastic, because I understand this is to promote tourism or the economy. People go, and it is a very good idea. People don't have to take casual leave like we used to take in India on Friday. So people start taking, just getting 4 days off, and they just can go anywhere actually. Okay, so there are 2 10 days holidays and 2 or 3 4 days holiday kind of thing, which is fantastic in my opinion. The, are there any negatives? Of course, you can always find negatives in every countries. On the holiday, there is some negative because the train ticket, I think they don't release train ticket months earlier. That is a very funny thing. They release ticket only 14 days before. So those who are like during these holiday, they just target when to book, and by the time you go, like foreigner like us, it is all booked. Of course, there is some tricks. You book from 2 stations behind or something like this, you get ticket. But basically, if you can avoid those days, the train ticket is easy to get. But I will say another. I see that roads are so fantastic, but people do not drive that much. Is it a negative? I don't consider so, because the plane and train is so good. Why people will drive? And train and plane is not costlier, so there is no need to drive actually. But I stayed in US. US, please drive like 500, 600 miles is nothing. People just drive. Even 1,000 miles is nothing. People just drive. Here, people will take train or plane. Okay, that is you can, if you can say, despite having such a big infrastructure, why people do not drive? That is one thing. What else is there in negative? Only main negative is the very very few people speak English. That is one negative. But nowadays with mobile phone translator, you can easily translate. That is not the issue. The most interesting thing I found is the translator. Like here, my company have a translator for us, and there are a lot of translators, and translators are amazing. They translate technical thing amazingly. They actually, before the meeting start, they will ask for the presentation material or something. They will study. They are actually they're all graduates. Some of them may be technical graduate, because they translate the technical term very quickly. And I found one or two amazing translators during project. The one guy translating everybody. Okay, let us say client, contractor, subcontractor, vendor, and let us say in a meeting there's a argument going on, and somebody is speaking loud voice, somebody is trying to answer, and there's one translator, okay, translating for everybody to ask to the non-Chinese people. And you will be surprised, like I was amazing, the one or two translators, they will change their voice. When the client is telling the EPC contractor, hey, this is not supposed to do like this, you're not meeting the specification. He will use because that we speak in, say, English, so he translates on own voice. Then the EPC answer in Chinese, then so this is we follow this, we follow this. Then if we find a real mistake, that contractor is scolding the subcontractor. We can see he is scolding, the voice is scolding. The translator also giving us an English translation is scolding voice. And then the poor subcontractor vendor explaining something, and immediately translator also come to the vendor and subcontractor mode. He is explaining in a slightly big voice actually. It's amazing. I survived here 2.5 years. I didn't face any problem. Of course, I have the tool like iPhone translator and the other translator, but my office, the translators are so good. It's fantastic. What else? Another I will say, like the rich and poor divide is quite high actually. That is a bit surprising to me. I don't know the Gini coefficient for China. But bureaucracy maybe here, suppose like we deal with a lot of standards. Some of the standard regulation I find is outdated. I asked my colleagues, why don't you give a feedback and another thing? Here nobody dare to give feedback. They say it is written by somebody, that's the Bible. Okay. That is one thing. And I also noted that some of the subcontract company, they don't pay sometimes their workers, and those workers, they don't like go to strike or something like this. They just come and squat uh, in front of the gate, and then they're very peaceful actually. I don't know what happened after that, but That is, I was surprised because I can't imagine that in a communist country, people has worked and not get paid actually. So it's very, very rare. Once or twice I saw. That is the, I will say, only negative. Other than that, it is fantastic. It's fantastic. So I am in Huizhou, which is the China. The biggest city is Shanghai. In terms of capital is of course Beijing. So it's the second. Third is Guangzhou. Shenzhen is very rich city, and Huizhou is an industrial area. I work in a petrochemical plant here, and the place is fantastic. Of course, city area is very vibrant, but I stay in a sea beach area. So this is called Gold Coast, of course. Sorry, you can see the view from my balcony is 46th floor. These are mostly condominium. So that is another thing I also want to say. I don't think they build a public housing here, so like many other countries. There's not much public housing. They basically allow the condominium, the private company to build a condominium, and you might have studied that there are one or two companies just bankrupt or something like this. There is some government support, but they privatize. I think one of the visionary leader, the Deng Xiaoping, I think he opened up China, and of course the Western countries allow them to go to WTO. That was fantastic, but I think it is the local people grit and the hard work brought China where it is. And my colleagues in the office are super fantastic. It is not that they like my role is their advisor. Of course, I have a lot of experience there. Some of them has less experience. I try to teach them sometime, and I mentor them a few, and I just advise or support. And these people are very grateful. I rarely got this kind of respect from other countries. Of course, India and China is quite similar. I found that way. Like the kind of respect I used to get in India, when I was in India long ago, by teaching others, I get the similar respect in China. Yeah, and I worked in many countries. I worked in Italy, I worked in UK, I worked in USA, Middle East. I long time I am in Singapore. Of course, everywhere. Not that everywhere I was teaching people, but many places I was teaching people. And of course, everybody show their gratitude when you help them or teach them something or explain them something. But some wholehearted gratitude I find very few places, and China is one of them, and of course India is one of them. Okay, thank you. If you have any question on China, I don't think I can answer many other things, but whatever I saw in 2.5 years, you can ask me, you can drop me a note. Thank you. Bye bye for today.